welcome, broadcasting from a secret location, live from the soon-to-be Fourth Reich. It is Slamcast number 99.5 because I didn't want to technically make this a full-fledged 100th episode because we're only talking about UFC and Hell in a Cell and everything else like that. So, welcome. We took a week off last week. I had a bit of death in the family. I had to take care of that. I had to take care of some business. So I took the week off. I hope you forgive me for that. From here on out, regular content coming. Joined as always by Nick Horaceck. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I gotta go to work here in about an hour. Well, not even an hour. I'll bang through this probably about a half hour, and I can fuck off and go make more fuck money.
Quick episode. Exactly. Quick episode. When I would feel if I cheated you if I called this episode 100. So
it'd be very anticlimactic.
Anticlimactic, exactly. We just talk about Hell in a Cell, what happened in wrestling while we were gone, and the fact that we now have a
WWE Hall of Famer as president of the United States.
First of all, again, as I've said before on this show, the Stone Cold Stunner that he took at WrestleMania disqualifies him for office alone. I want my president to be able to know how to take a bump properly.
Yes.
And not just, flop around like a fish. Anyway, I'm always more comfortable being a political outsider. I am actually cautiously optimistic over the next 4 years. I look forward to engaging in plenty of protests and, doing my part to make sure that American ideals hold true. And the progress we made over the last 8 years socially is not eroded in a matter of 100 days. So that's my soapbox stance. I'm sure, there are people that listen to this podcast.
I said my piece on Facebook about how this is completely the Democratic establishment's fault. They put up literally the face of the entire establishment, and people were sick of it. The country's in a populist mood, and this is what we got.
And they got somebody who spoke a very populist message, albeit somewhat disturbing at times.
Yeah. Reality star, multiple bankruptcies, yada, yada, yada. There's many different ways this guy is loser Donald. But now he's President-elect Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, that's just... This is somebody who's going to be taught about in the history books. Like, your children's children are going to learn about this.
Yep.
Anyway, Hell in a Cell happened before we left and before, had to deal with family business. As we're looking back on it now, I could say that it was a mediocre pay-per-view that was redeemed by some pretty cool moments that happened throughout, mostly towards the end. I'll say it, come right out and say it. I think Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins had one of the best matches of the night. They definitely pushed the bar and set the bar pretty high as far as what to follow after Rusev and Roman Reigns had another pretty good, impressive match. And I want to make a plea right now. Please, WWE Creative, because I know you're listening. Someone out there is listening and stealing all my ideas and doing them. Please, oh please, make Rusev a main event player for the WWE Universal Championship, or maybe even bring him over to SmackDown, because we're hearing all this potential moving around of the roster. Make Rusev a number one contender for the WWE title, or put a main title on Rusev. Guarantee you will not be disappointed by that. Nick, you got anything to say before we move on to the women? Because that's going to say something about that historic night.
Yeah, it was definitely an up-and-down pay-per-view. There seemed to be a lot of, Roman and Rusev had a great match. Like, again, the Roman Reigns hate, it's because it's just cool to hate Roman. That's all it is, because this guy puts on fucking great matches. Rusev is fucking great. I will say the fact that Roman's wearing a chest protector and then Rusev is beating with a kendo stick makes no sense, but That's a little bit of a nitpick, but it was up and down.
I think it's one of those things that is just like the two of them. It pops the monitor, like, you know. I'm sure, like, you know, Roman gets a lot razzed in the back from like, oh, you wear this chest protector thing, or, you know, it would be funny if I hit you with that over and over again, and you like tell it like it's actually hurting you. But the women closing the show was obviously an historic occasion, and them closing the show in a fairly reputable gimmick match is an even more historic occasion.
Mm-hmm.
There were some moments, though, that I felt that they were hampered. They very clearly wanted to do the Undertaker Mick Foley beginning. God damn it. Thought I muted that. They very clearly...
ESPN app.
Damn you, ESPN Fantasy Lab, that's telling me that I have 4 bench players projected to outscore starters this week. Yeah, I'm aware of that. I haven't set my lineup. It's only Thursday at noon. I think that there's very clearly a governor put on them, just from the way they started out. They very clearly wanted to go to the top of the cell, and I just didn't think that is something that's possible that they would allow women to do in this new age of the WWE. Not just because they're women. I just think they'd be allowed safety concerns. They're not going to allow the two of them to go up there and take, you know, do spot up on top of a cage, not protected by some sort of crash pad or anything like that. That's the new era in WWE we're operating in. That's actually getting a call on my phone from an unknown number. I'm definitely not answering that. I think, did I tell you this before? I think my phone might have been used for prostitutes before.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. I got a text message the other day from someone asking for Francesca because they were driving through Middletown and they wanted to come through and see Francesca for an hour. Very specific for an hour. That to me was the dead giveaway that my phone number may or may not have been used by prostitutes. All right, this person's calling back twice. I'm going to have to answer. Hello? Hello?
Hi, this is John with Horizons Unlimited on a recorded line. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, well, my job is to ask you a few questions to help you find the right school or program that would be a good fit.
I cannot talk to you right now. What the fuck is that? Horizons Online, people trying to ask me fucking shit. I do not give a fuck. You might be a fucking cop trying to fucking bug my phone, yo.
Oh my
Put
God.
That shit, 21 seconds. I gave that motherfucker. Fuck out of here.
Oh God, I'm leaving that in the episode. I'm sorry.
Go for it. I don't give a shit. Did you actually get the guy's audio?
Yes.
John from Horizons? Like, oh, fuck out. Fucking out of here with that bullshit.
Oh God, that's funny. Anyway, women, Sasha, Charlotte, Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. Look, I thought they did a good job. I thought they did the match had a fair amount of drama to it. They hit all their spots. It wasn't you know, as awkward as I thought it could have been. The ending, though, at the time, I was like, what the hell? What the hell just happened? You just completely killed the momentum of the crowd. Show ends on a complete down note. And I felt at that time it killed the pay-per-view, and it killed like the night that it had. Just the anticlimactic ending. Sasha getting beat clean in her hometown.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you know, to me, rather anticlimactic. Now, with the couple weeks hindsight, I could see now that they're building Charlotte up to be this, when it matters, when it counts, in the big moment, Charlotte shows up. That she's unbeatable in the big moments. In sort of the way, I'm not trying to directly compare, sort of the way that The Undertaker was at WrestleMania. In the big match, or John Cena is.
Right, there's a reason, he was called, JBL would call him Big Match John.
Exactly. Big match Charlotte. So I think it's building to something larger. Someone beating her in the big match. Maybe at a WrestleMania. Maybe that person is Bayley. Maybe that person is Sasha. Maybe that person's Becky. They seem to have a very good chemistry together when they work and outside of the ring. And I always think that's something that helps. Mm-hmm. Not usually translates inside the ring. A good chemistry outside the ring. So, yeah. You have anything less, ID, or we'll move on?
Pretty much move on. It was an up and down pay-per-view. I ended up, funny thing is I ended up having to work a double that day, so I didn't get to see it until I got home. And I was already so tired, I think I went to bed and then watched the main event the next day. So
I fell asleep actually watching the actual pay-per-view and then woke up at the end and then had to go back and watch what I missed, and then didn't really miss that much. But yeah, it was, I said, it was redeemed at the end by some pretty cool moments at the end, but maybe the month-to-month pay-per-views might be gaining on it. They have to deliver. I feel that some of these haven't delivered quite the same way that they could have. Yeah. So moving on to a bit of news, ongoing TNA news. Not really that much. We shouldn't be that surprised, though, given the court decision that Billy Corgan has now been formally removed from his position as president of TNA, and still, as of right now, as I'm aware of, hasn't been paid back yet.
Pay the man.
Yeah. This is Dixie being Dixie.
Yep.
And I have a feeling that maybe if this trial took place outside of the District of Tennessee, maybe it goes a different way. Maybe, who knows? I don't know. But moving straight on from that, there was a bit of news from the WWE front. That there will be a new program coming to the WWE Network. Yep. What I thought was kind of unfortunately named, because it sounds like a call-in talk show in Birmingham, Alabama, 205 Live, will be a cruiserweight-only show. I don't know what that means for the cruiserweight division going forward, and they really kind of haven't been specific on it, other than they say that the cruiserweights are going to get their own show. I do agree that they do, if they have to grow the division, they have to have more than just one or two throwaway segments on Raw.
Yeah.
To, really improve. But I'm at least optimistic. In coordination with that, WWE Japan has confirmed that Akira Tozawa has officially signed with WWE.
Nice.
Yeah, that makes me happy. I'm always good to see happy to see talented Japanese performers make their way over and bring a little bit of strong style over to the WWE shores. Nakamura has come over and been successful. I think there's no doubt in my mind that if Tozawa comes over and manages to stay healthy, we saw that with Hideo Itami, Akira Tozawa can absolutely be, and absolutely has the pedigree to be a dominant force in the cruiserweight division. guarantee Tozawa is Cruiserweight champion within a year from now. This time next year, Tozawa has had at least a run with the Cruiserweight title. Mark it on your fucking calendars, folks. You heard it here first. Was there one other bit of news that I wanted to talk about that I kind of forgot about? Do we want to talk about the fight that allegedly happened between Sin Cara and
Chris Jericho?
I mean, this doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, every time we seem to hear a fight about, backstage altercations between guys, Sin Cara's name seems to be a name that's bandied about quite a lot. Yet they seem to not use this in any sort of angle. The fact that this guy is actually a legitimate tough guy. Book him like that. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But WWE reportedly sending him to anger management. I don't know how truthful that is. I mean, I could see where this is a recurring incident. Maybe this is their way of, you do this or out the door, because obviously we can't have this fire, and we're not going to fire Chris Jericho.
Hell no.
So you gotta do this.
Yeah, otherwise you're going to be on the list.
You're going to be on the list of future endeavored, or we can just find somebody else to put under that hood that's going to be just as fine.
Yep.
You can go do your own thing.
So that won't be the first time they put someone else under the Sin Cara mask?
No. I mean, I think it would be a little hard now because, I think now that he's established himself as that character, he does have a giant tattoo. That's kind of hard to. That's kind of hard to replicate. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that plays. Yeah, I think that was it. That was everything I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Finn Balor posted a tweet and just said, "I miss wrestling." So.
Wrestling misses Finn Balor too. By the way, that's I don't know if that's really shocking news. We could definitely use him now in the Survivor Series, because I think very little bit I've watched of the Survivor Series build kind of just seems like Raw doesn't have their shit together, and now Shane McMahon's going to be in the Survivor Series match because Shane McMahon is better than Baron Corbin. So,
yep.
Yeah.
And apparently we're also getting a 30 for 30 on the XFL.
Oh, I can't wait for more. Again, this is why the special relationship that has developed between WWE and ESPN, I cannot wait for more WWE-based 30 for 30s. Like the Ric Flair one, I am absolutely looking forward to. The XFL one, I think we absolutely need, because it was the last time anybody ever tried to compete with the NFL, and I think permanently answered that question. Why doesn't spring football work in America? Because we're just so fucking tired of football by the time the Super Bowl goes around, that there's just there's no way you could replicate the level of competition. I'm absolutely looking forward to it. That's going to be awesome as shit. So, moving on. We're done with the news.
Yep. Outside of Hogan,
Oh, yeah! No shit. Thanks. That was the thing that I missed. It was announced on Friday last week, I think it was. Sometime last week. It was after we had already recorded. They had Hulk Hogan has finally settled his lawsuit with Gawker Media. Does not get the full $130 million that was
but he does
promised.
Get a cool $31 million, brother.
$30 million, brother. That's pretty good. That's pretty good money for Hulk Hogan that he doesn't have to share with his ex-wife. So that will keep him in red leather boas and fine automobiles for the rest of his life.
And hey, it's looking like we'll probably see him back by Mania time.
That was my prediction. I think we'll probably see within 6 months from now, more likely WrestleMania towards the build for that, because it will be in Florida.
Right. I'll give it 5 max because
Good 5.
November.
I
Yeah,
get by WrestleMania. I think we definitely
so we're probably
see the
actually
Hulkster.
going to be hitting the 3-4 month mark.
Yeah, by the WrestleMania build, we see it.
I do want to see Hogan come out at Mania, dragging in a big truck, dragging a car with Gawker spray painted on it.
What I want to see is Rusev doing the heel thing at WrestleMania, maybe even as WWE champion, and then saying, I've made America weak, blah, 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 I'm better than that, and then real American hits, big boot leg drop, if he could do it, or Rusev attacks him, and then he just point to you, and then that's that crowd in Orlando.
Yeah, it would be similar to WrestleMania 21 when they were doing the thing with Eugene, Muhammad Hassan, and Hassan had him in the camel clutch. Real American hits, that crowd exploded.
Exactly. That's going to be...
I thought I could see the roof of that building shoot about an inch off the fucking thing. A
stadium of 50 to 60,000 people will lose their absolute mind.
Yes.
They'll lose their minds. So, congratulations, Hulk Hogan. You've finally taken down Gawker. Yeah, I'm not really too thrilled about that, but okay. Oh, well. We'll move on.
And now the big one.
The big one.
Big event. UFC 205 in New York.
Can I tell you how much I've been waiting for this weekend? Fight week in New York. Oh, there's nothing like it. They pulled out all the stops by bringing the big guns. I think we will be treated to a show this Saturday. The card is stacked on stacked on stacked.
Well, you look at some of the names that even on the prelims, you got Thiago Alves, Tim Bozic, Frankie Edgar,
Liz Scaramouche, Khabib Nurmagomedov. That's just a dope card. And even the beginnings of this card is pretty fucking stacked. You got Donald Cerrone fighting Chris Weidman. I just so good.
Cerrone Weidman?
No, Cerrone. No, I was good. There was kind of like a comma there. Cerrone's fighting Weidman fighting. Cerrone is fighting Kevin Elvin Gastelum.
Yep.
Chris Weidman fighting No For Gay Jesus, Yoel No For Gay Jesus Romero. So,
yep.
We're not going to talk. I mean, obviously, we're not going to.
So.
Yeah. The top 3 we all know about, but I mean, we're not going to talk about every show on the card. Because that would just be entirely too long. We'll start.
I get to work.
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to make this short and sweet, folks. We'll start though with Gastelum, Donald Cerrone, which, I mean, Cerrone's just been kind of on this run that's after that's just been unremarkable for a guy that I mean, unbelievable for a guy that's in that stage of his career. He's been he's 33. He's been in 23 fights in the UFC. He always seems to be there. I think Cerrone might have it in the bag. I really do. I think the momentum is with Cerrone. Even though Gastelum is a good amongst strikers, and he can do well. Use my words. Speak better, Brandon. He has better defense than most of the guys Cerrone has fought. I just think this is a tough fight to pick, but I just think momentum is with Cerrone in this. So I'm going to go with Cerrone.
Yeah, I'll take Cerrone. All right.
I think he's going to go second round. Maybe second round. All right, Weidman, No For Gay Jesus, Romero. This is an equally as tough fight to predict because they're two very, very similar, not very similar styles, but they match up very, very well. For Weidman, the consummate wrestler, Ramirez just an absolute, beast. But I gotta feel that the crowd is gonna be just absolutely behind Chris Weidman, and Weidman's gotta take it. I just think in New York, this fight is the labor of Chris Weidman because he was the poster boy for the Fight for New York movement, and did all the political stuff that he had to do in Albany to try and get the legislation passed.
Yep, and they finally got it passed. New York was the last fucking holdout, man. It was like, of all the places, New York.
Exactly.
We've been enjoying MMA here in Montana for years. So. Yeah.
Yep. Well, states' rights, man. What are you gonna do? So if this is to him to get this fight, I think it's gonna be a special night for him. He's definitely done all his due diligence and is more than ready to take this fight on. In what will be the first of 3 title matches, fight that was supposed to take place in Poland, but got moved up to New York because this is the perfect place to have this fight. Large Polish immigrant community in New York, large immigrant community in general in New York. Joanna Jurecic versus Karolina Kowalczyk. I'm not less good with her name, and I apologize to anybody who's offended by my terrible pronunciation. But this is going to be one of those fights that I think is going to make the strawweight division famous. Because right now it's just Joanna. Joanna's the most famous strawweight, and then there's Paige Van Zandt, who's doing her own thing, but not any at all threat to Joanna's crown. I think this is going to be a big night for Polish women fighting, because I think that's apparently a big thing. There's a lot of strong Polish women fighters, especially in the strawweight division. I think nothing is going to dethrone Joanna right now. I think Joanna is just that good. She is strawweight Ronda Rousey at this point.
I was just about to say that too. She is the Ronda Rousey of that division.
She is Polish Ronda Rousey at this point.
In the same way Ronda was the Hoist Gracie Hoist Gracie of the women's division when that first started. Yeah,
she's just dominating. So I don't think there's anybody that's going to stop her. Best 115-pound fighter in the world, and so yeah. Yep. Moving on to a fight that is going to be pretty. I think this is a precursor of what could be. I think a lot of people are going to focus on the main event. I think this could be a fight that people are going to be talking about at the end of it. That is, take a breath. Welterweight champion Tyron Woodley against Stephen Thompson. Stephen Thompson has been a young and up and coming fighter. People said they've wanted this fight for a while. Sorry, Thompson's 33. I thought he was a lot younger than that. He seems a lot younger. My bad. So I think this fight is going to be big for Tyron Woodley because he's going to look to establish himself more as a main event, as a legitimate star in the UFC now that he's got the belt. Not like star like in the sense he's going to be doing media appearances, but more as a more bankable fighter. But Wonder Boy hasn't been beaten a while. He's on a 7-fight win streak.
Yep.
This is going to be really hard one to predict, but I think Thompson takes it. I really do. I think.
I'm picking Woodley.
All right, I'm going to go with Stephen Thompson on this one.
All right.
All right.
Now, main event.
Main event of the evening. I mean, I really don't even have to give my prediction on this. I think it's been. I'm well on the record being very pro McGregor.
Yep.
I think this matchup presents a lot of trouble for Conor McGregor because he's he's fought wrestlers. I think Eddie Alvarez is a different class of wrestler than he's ever fought before. That being said, he's going to be harder to catch now because, as we've seen, his movement in fights have gotten better. His, avoiding strikes, avoiding takedowns. His takedowns have even gotten a lot better. We saw in the Diaz fight. Diaz wasn't able to just, wrestle him down, to take him down to the ground and impose his will on him, like you would believe. The stamina thing is something that, stands out at me with McGregor. I think obviously Alvarez has better stamina. But in those fights, it's not like Eddie Alvarez again has won those fights that go longer. It's just he can perform or doesn't get as gassed out easier. Well, I'm gonna go with McGregor on this one, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Well.
I would. There's just something about this that just. I'm gonna go with history being made though, and we have a first ever 2-division weight in UFC history. Then where do we go from there? Who knows? How do you get the belt? How do you get belts off of Conor McGregor now when he owns 2 of them? Like you can't.
He'll give him up when he's good and ready.
Yeah, he'll give him up when he's good and ready. Everybody else is just going to have to wait. It's Conor McGregor's world. You just live in it.
Yep.
That's what I'm hoping for. Now, I mean, reality and expectation have definitely, over the last week or so, have definitely been in conflict.
Really? Fuck, Cubs win the World Series? Congrats
Cubs
to them.
win the World Series. Exactly.
That is always worth
there is a...
And then,
yeah, I again never thought I'd ever see it in my life, and it happened. Just like I never thought I'd... Exactly.
2016's been a crazy year, people. You just... Expectations have been royally shattered.
It's not even over with yet. Like, what do you do for a finale 2016? Like, for really?
I don't know.
And I'm going to leave it up to this. I got an Iron Sheik tweet of the week for us that basically puts it into perspective. So play my Iron Sheik tweet of the week music here.
Iron Sheik tweet of the week.
Fuck him! I talked to him! I want to know, are you the man or are you a fucking piece of shit? No good motherfucker! Fucking bullshit! Bullshit, Hulk Hogan! I'm the rare all-American gold medal.
Full pause. All right. Well, look, I say this right off the bat, and I can only describe our current condition in the words of the greatest living Iranian American, the Iron Sheik. President Trump just broke the Hillary back. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your Iron Sheik tweet of the week.
Fucking bullshit!
He humbled her. He humbled us all. I, for one, welcome our new orange skin Overlord. Hail Fjord. On that note, this has been episode number 99.5 of Slamcast. Episode 100 in proper will be next week, maybe? Maybe we'll do episode 99 and a third when we talk about post-UFC stuff.
9 and 2/3.
Just stretch that out, man. Just going to stretch that out. Stretch it out. So for Nick Horaceck, for Broken Michael Burhan, for Miguel Leon, for everybody else, the cast of thousands of involved with Slamcast, go support independent wrestling. You know, I've said this before. It's the cheapest form of experiencing this form of entertainment that we all love and enjoy.
Yep.
And you never know who you might see on the way up or on the way down. You never know.
Yep.
So for all those people involved, I am Brandon Liggan saying go forth and spread beauty and light. Peace, love, and humptiness. Never have those words been more important now.